Exams. I used to get so stressed.
What a thought.
I couldn't sleep. I had trouble eating. My palms used to get sweaty. I mean, what sort of things?
Do you know, I still have the nightmares occasionally. you know the one where the exam is in 2 days' time and you've forgotten when it was and you haven't done any work. Actually, it happened to me. The best thing I've ever heard on pressure was Michael Johnson. Do you know who he is? He's an Olympic athlete. Michael Johnson was commentating, and there was a brilliant long distance runner, Haile Gebrselassie, came into the stadium and everyone cheered and went bananas and said, oh, this guy's going to win the gold, you know, no sweat. And one of the other commentators said, you know, Michael, you know, you had situations like that where you came into a stadium, everyone thinks you're going to win. Do you ever think, you know, what if I don't win? You know, what if I disappoint everybody? That's what he said about it. He said, you're definitely going to have that thought. You're absolutely, definitely going to go in the stadium, people cheer, you know, you're expected to do what you're expected to do, and you're going to think, well, what if I just muck up? What if it all goes wrong? And I think, you know, that can happen to people in exams. They just panic and it falls apart. So his advice was, what you think about is execution. It's maybe a sort of American term. It means sort of the practical details of what you're going to do. So in his case, he's thinking, okay, at the start, when the gun goes off, how am I going to do the first 10 meters? And then when I'm approaching the first bend, if I can see such and such an athlete's pulling up on me, am I going to go for it at that point, or am I going to hold fire? You just think about the detail of how you're going to run every single stage of that race. Because if you do the right things, you're going to get the right outcome. You're going to get the right result. If you do the right things in an exam, you're going to get the right result. Let's say it's an English exam and you've got 2 long questions to do. Okay, so how long am I going to spend on the first one? You get the question, how am I going to approach this? Because probably you're going to get that question, you think, oh God, you know, how am I going to do this? So you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to do a plan. I'm going to spend 5 minutes doing a plan. By the way, there's some fantastic activities on planning in English, in SAM Learning, that you can apply to all your subjects. In maths, you might get a question, you think, oh, I sort of know, I'm not really sure how to do this. Well, you think, okay, how am I going to approach this question? What's the first thing I need to do? And you do that. And then what's the next thing I need to do? So by focusing on the execution, how am I going to approach this? What am I going to do at each point? You can turn that nervous energy into a positive. And the key is just focusing on, how am I going to approach this and what am I going to do?
It's looking at what's actually at hand rather than, you know, worrying about what's, you know, happening around you and what your parents might think and what the grades might be and things like that. Just really get down to the nitty gritty. You know, you've got a game plan, go in there, just get on with it, get your head down and you know, do the right things, and the right thing will happen.
You'll get the right result, absolutely, you'll get the right result.